Good afternoon and welcome to the weekly Lawrence City Commission meeting. Meeting a little early tonight and hopefully a little faster than usual so that everyone can get home and start to observe the national election. Kind of an interesting day when you think about it, every 4 years, and a real sincere kind of feeling that you get with all the action that's going on around the country. So first of all, we have on the agenda tonight is receive a presentation of automated external defibrillators from the Lawrence Police Foundation. So someone like to come forward and give us a little bit of information about this? Please state your names for the record.
Nadine Hyde. Michelle DeRusso. Mary Beth Violet.
Harry Harrington.
Yeah.
John Ross.
As president of the Lawrence Police Foundation, I'm very proud to announce that we have received funds via a fundraiser that we did in August and also some donations from public citizens that allowed us to purchase 8 automated external defibrillators for the Lawrence Police Department. One of our goals is to continue fundraising in order to purchase enough defibrillators so there will be one in each squad car. So if I could have Chief come up at this time.
I wasn't supposed to make any speeches, Nadine. On behalf of the Lawrence Police Department of the City of Lawrence, I'd like to thank the Lawrence Police Foundation for this generous gift. As you all know, these are great lifesavers. We just had Valor Awards not too long ago, and a lot of opportunities for city employees to save people in our community. And these, as first responders, we're out there every day, night and day, and they will come in very, very handy. And so I look at it as a great benefit for the community, and we thank you very, very much for your generous time. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Well, thanks to the Lawrence Police Foundation for this generous gift, and certainly, hopefully no citizens will benefit from it, but certainly over time they will. And we really appreciate the thoughtfulness and the fact that our police rolling patrols will have this first aid help that will for sure save lives. So thanks to all of you very much, and thanks for providing this extra service to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next on the agenda is the consent agenda. All matters listed below on the consent agenda are considered under one motion and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on those items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Any items any commission members wish to remove at this time?
No, sir. No.
Nope. Okay. Any member of the public wish to remove any of the consent items?
Good evening, Mayor and Commission and attendants. Hubbard Collinsworth, I'd like number 10.
Okay, we'll remove it and we'll call you when it's time to speak on that. Okay, number 10 is authorize the mayor to enter into a cooperation agreement with Douglas County and Douglas County Senior Services to provide for coordination of services to residents of Lawrence and Douglas County, age 55 and older, and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with Douglas County Senior Services relating to utilization of a city building at 8th and Vermont Street. Okay, we're going to remove that from the consent agenda. The remaining balance, any other items, member of the public? Okay, the remaining balance of the consent agenda, along with paying payroll of $1,855,403.22, as well as paying 279 vendors in the amount of $4,387,105.04. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Amix Dever, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, carries 5-0. Okay, item number 10, staff.
Commissioner Cynthia is going to make a brief presentation on these items, and Commissioner Carter's also been substantially involved in these as well.
Good evening, Cynthia Wagner, Assistant City Manager. You have two items for action before you this evening relating to the facility agreement with Douglas County Senior Services and a cooperation agreement between the city, Douglas County, and the Douglas County Senior Services Board. All of these actions are as a result of the recommendations of the Retiree Attraction and Retention Task Force final recommendation that was presented to you in May. That included the creation of a portal or some type of a centralized entity for coordination of the recommendations of that report and coordination of services provided to seniors throughout Lawrence and Douglas County. Over the summer, a group has been working with the interim director of Douglas County Senior Services in evaluating their existing services and looking at the moving forward potential recruitment of a new executive director. We've looked at the bylaws of that organization, and they last week approved changes to their bylaws, absorbing some of the responsibilities related to implementation of the Retiree Attraction and Retention Task Force report. And the cooperation agreement has been approved by them and has been reviewed by the County Board of Commissioners, and they will review it a second time tomorrow evening.
Okay, questions for staff?
No.
Okay, thank you. Public comment, please.
Hubbard Collinsworth again. I have no major problem with it, but I just want to emphasize the transportation needs for senior citizens. I don't want that to kind of, skirt underneath the rug, because I really, that's one of the areas of the transportation needs for the city needs to be met is senior citizens. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Other comments? Commission discussion?
Mayor, if I could, first I'd respond to that point on transportation, and it's a great point. This is basically allowing this board to take on an expanded role in addition to what the DCSS currently does, which is the meals and transportation. They're to be taking the task force recommendations that were completed in May, I believe, and seeing and advising both the city and county on how to best implement those things. One of the top recommendations of the advisory committee was to explore transportation and ways to better utilize what we have, as well as to identify gaps, and whether we look at the private sector to help fill those gaps or however we strategize that, it's very important. And we felt like that was something to put in as a priority and allow this group to work on it on an ongoing, continuing basis. So we're actually trying to add some, I guess, some weight to that issue, to have people focusing on that and advising the governing bodies on it. So it's a good point, and hopefully this actually will enhance that effort. It's not at all to take away from it. And then I'd just say that the 3 immediate recommendations that we had from that task force were to get a marketing plan together, some material to send out, a relocation guide for potential retirees, to hire or bring on a point person, and to create that board. Those were the 3 immediate charges. So it's a good night here that this wraps up the 3. We'd already hired the marketing company. This creates the board and the new position, and so that's great. And then now that that's in place, the work of this task force we know will go forward because we have a body that's going to be focused on that in the years to come. So.
Okay. Other comments? Commissioner Carter, would you like to make a motion to approve?
I sure would. Close it out here. I'd like to move to authorize the mayor to enter into a cooperation agreement with Douglas County and Douglas County Senior Services to provide for the coordination of services to residents of Lawrence and Douglas County age 55 and older, and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with Douglas County Senior Services relating to utilization of a city building located at 8th and Vermont.
Second.
Moved Carter, second Amix. You second?
Yes,
Yes,
second. Sorry.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries 5-0. Very good. Next item on the agenda would be the city manager's report.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. In the spirit of a short meeting, I won't spend a lot of time on these items, but I do think that you have a number of items I would commend to your reading. We did get an update, did get email communication from the state archaeologist concerning the digging activity at 9th in New Hampshire. I think that's been publicly related as well. Wanted you to have some of that background material. Got a really good report from the utility department on water system issues this year. Very proud of the work that the utility department has done as far as the reliability during some tough, challenging times for record water demand. But we've also had an increase attributed to the drought conditions on some water main breaks, and we've got some information in regards to that. Staff has been working on a weekly basis to come up with a number of different rate scenarios and capital improvement plans that you'll be seeing here hopefully in the next couple of weeks is my plan. We did get a recognition from the Mid-America Regional Council on our Common Ground program that I know is of interest to the Commission, and appreciate Eileen Horn's work in that regard. Successful city employee flu shot. Those city employees should be ill or have the flu this winter. A little bit exaggerating, but do appreciate the work of the health department and the fire medical department. It also serves as a good training in case we ever would need to be in a kind of a mass immunization situation. Todd put together, and Todd's here, a memo on the new Transportation Act. I think what we're learning is the federal government's role in transportation is probably going to change. Well, we don't necessarily know all those changes. I know Commissioner Dever, Vice Mayor Dever serves on the MPO as well, but wanted to get this new federal law and hopefully learn a little bit more from a staff standpoint and also from a commission standpoint about what those impacts are. Appreciate that work, and we'll continue to monitor. And then we've got a report from Parks and Recreation on some of the fall activities. So that was kind of a quick overview. As always, I'll be happy to respond to any questions that you might have.
Questions?
I do have one on the report on the leaks. Looking 2010, this year we're already quadrupled the number that we dealt with in 2010 and 2009 maybe, and we've still got a couple months to go. From a staffing standpoint, are the majority of those dealt with in-house with staff? Or? The
majority of them are. What we've had to do, Commissioner, that's a very helpful point, is that we've had to take crews off from doing some just planned water line replacement because they have been so busy on these types of emergency projects. So we haven't really scheduled very many more water line replacements. We have had to get some additional help in some cases where the water main break has been a particular disruption to the city street. We've had to get some help, and I know in some cases we've had to bring in extra help when it's just, I think we had 3 in one day, for example. But that's been my understanding, that by and large it's been city crews, but in some cases we have had to use outside work. But its main impact, obviously the disruption with businesses is a particular concern, but its operational impact has been is it's taking those crews away from doing some of the water main rehab work that we would like to get done elsewhere in the community.
Great. Thank you.
Other questions? All right. Thank you, David. And as you see there under D, none for regular agenda items. And is there any public comment this evening? Okay. Future agenda items? The biggie for next Tuesday night
is the public comment in the direction on recreation center options. You all have seen the materials that we've put together. Plan on sharing that at the public open house meeting that we're going to have Thursday night. Hopefully you all will be able to attend, and we'll be putting that information all on our agenda for next Thursday. I did move the occupancy limits and the rental licensing items to November the 20th. I've already had a comment back that's, I know that it was the week of Thanksgiving, but the concern is that being on the week of Thanksgiving, there may not be as much participation in those discussions. So Mayor, I think we probably want to scoot that back a little bit further.
Either the
On the
27th or the first week of
But we do want to get
December.
that on an agenda and follow
Yeah,
through. on
yeah,
that.
either the 27th or whatever the first weekend in December is.
So other than that, I don't really have anything else on future agenda. We're trying to wrap up a number of different items.
Mike?
Well, I was just gonna say it'd probably be better on the first week of December. Just everybody will be back then, because isn't NLC the week right after Thanksgiving?
Yes, I'm not aware of any commissioners that are going.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were gonna be gone there.
But the one comment though,
My
Commissioner,
mistake.
I'm going
Is it-
somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
is a good point is that if we do it the Tuesday right after Thanksgiving, then a lot of people are out of town to hear about it, and they may be
Notification.
getting back on Monday and not find out about it in time. So
That's,
it may make sense on that first meeting in December.
okay. Any other agenda comments?
No, sir.
All right. And moving right along here, calendar. I have a conflict on ribbon cutting on the, just a minute, let me find my calendar.
16th?
Yeah. That's Lawrence Memorial Hospital, the Cindy Murray care unit. It's at like 4:30 in the afternoon.
I think I can do that.
You have one on a Wednesday, I think.
I could do that.
Do you want to switch?
Oh,
I mean, you can do both if you wish.
yeah, I'll just take yours, that's all right.
Okay.
I'm doing both.
All right, so that's 4:30, Lawrence Memorial Hospital on the 16th.
I'm a team player.
Good. Anybody else on the other item? We're going to probably schedule a holiday party at my house on the 21st of, I'm sorry, on the 19th.
Monday?
Wait a minute here. Oh, 12th.
December?
12th, December. I only gave you 3 dates there. 12th of December is for commission and staff. And Chad. Keep the conversation strictly social. Okay, anything else on calendar? Okay. After a horribly stressful meeting, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second. Oh, jinx, we can do it.
Carter and everyone else seconded. I'll call it Cromwell. Carter Cromwell. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, everybody, and good evening.
Onward and upward.